Well, hello gang, it's me again, John Neal. Where are we? Thursday, 22nd of July. Oh yes. And it's hot again here in Middle England. It's going to be about knocking on towards 30 degrees centigrade, which in Britain is not usual. We're not used to it. Anyway, it keeps the garden nice and green, as you can see. And today I'm going to talk about two things. One, the state of my YouTube channels, and secondly, some things in the garden. So it's basically a gardening video to do with winners and losers. First, let me just explain the YouTube channels. The main YouTube channel I've got, which this is not going to go out on immediately. I started about 12 years ago for the signwriting and handwriting when I was working. Not ashamed to say that I'm now 70 years old. I've been retired 5 years, and so for about 20 years ago I started signwriting, having been a teacher for a long time. And then I started the YouTube channel, which was fairly soon after YouTube had started. And it was quite successful because it was a little niche market to do with signwriting and handwriting in particular. So what's happened since then is, of course, I've retired and I haven't done so much signwriting. In fact, I've done so much of this. It's affected my shoulder, so I can't even do much anyway. So I've got lots of other things to do. So the videos, I like making the videos, it's good fun. For me, being retired, it's a project, it's something to do. I like doing photography, always have done since I was about 15, 16. I've done photography and enjoyed it. And then to move on to video and YouTube was another step forward, which was a lot of good fun. So I just enjoy doing it. I don't need to get the money from it. I'm retired, I've got a pension. That isn't the case to worry about. I get a little bit of money from the first channel. Now this is it. The first channel was on an old email address and I can't access it. I go on and for some reason they've tightened up the security on it and it won't recognize the password. And I keep going backwards and forwards to try and change the password, and now they've locked me out. Wait a while, try it again, answer the questions, blah de blah. It's a nightmare. So I can't get into the regular, the bigger YouTube channel, the 16,000 followers, of which of course they're sleeping followers now. They don't actually watch the videos anymore because it's not about signwriting, it's about all this other stuff. So I then got another channel, which is my latest email address, and that's still accessible. And to be honest, to keep having to jump back into the old one is a bit of a nuisance. So I'm thinking I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to put any more videos on it. I shall leave it where it is because it's earning a little bit of money for me now and again, because it's got so many thousands of subscribers, and you need those to monetize the things. So I'll leave it where it is. I think there's, I don't know, is it 300 videos on there over the 12 years? And so I think I'm going to stick to this one channel, which it doesn't matter, it doesn't bother me. I'm going to have to somehow break into the old one and say, look, move over to this one, transmigrate, I think is what I'm looking for, over to this one, and we'll take it from here. So funnily enough, when these somewhat digital catastrophes occur, they can be for the better. Really, I hope so. The other issue, which is why I'm doing this video again, is I use Final Cut Pro, which is the Apple product on my iMac, to edit the videos, and I absolutely adore it. But it's a little bit complicated in places, and I did something the other day, and I did all this video about the garden, and I took it upstairs, worked on it for about 3 hours, and basically lost the edit. Still got the clips, but I lost the edit. And having looked over it, I thought, well, funny enough, I just enjoyed doing the filming, this bit, and the editing. when I actually went to publish it and put it on YouTube, that was okay, I was going to be good, but it didn't matter a huge amount, and I wasn't totally satisfied with it, so I'm going to do that version again. So we're back in the garden, so this is going to be a gardening video. The videos that I'm doing, of course, are one of many things I just end up doing. Sometimes it's painting, sometimes it's cycling, sometimes it's playing about with the drone, sometimes it's gardening. What else? Sometimes I get a bit philosophical, talk about other things, but yeah, so you don't, that's roughly what you're going to get. So if you don't want that, go somewhere else, but if you do like it, please comment. It means actually, if you've got a small number of commentators, like I say, we've got a little gang of people. If I had 100 commentators, I wouldn't be able to connect with them all. So now it's easier to have just a dozen or so people regularly commentating, and that seems to work. And I actually video chat with one or two folk as well, which is terrific fun. I like that. Which brings me on finally, of course, if I'm going to steer the channel this way, I think I'd like some suggestions. So if there's something about all those subjects that you want me to focus on, and I've had a few ideas, then direct me somewhere and I'll make a project and do a video about those. But today it's going to be gardening, winners and losers. Okay. Let's be positive and start off with a winner, and that's this Archway. It's made of galvanized steel and it's very solid. It should be, because it costs quite a lot of money. There's a local fabricator that we know of that does these extremely well. He even exhibits down in Chelsea Flower Show. But this has been great, and it's got climbers all over it. This side's got a honeysuckle on, which, to be honest, it's not flowering at all, and the leaves have dropped off at the bottom, but I hope it's going to be okay. This side we've got sweet peas going mad. They're really nice, they smell fantastic. Then over the top we've got the wisteria, and if you know the story of the wisteria, it used to be much bigger than this, and it fell over under its own weight, and the pear tree that was holding it up just collapsed. So we got the arch, training the wisteria over it, and so these are quite fragrant. The honeysuckle should be, and when that comes out in flower, which I think is going to be next time now, that's beautiful fragrance as well. And on top of all that, we've got the jasmine over here in two places, one behind the seat where I was, and one against the workshop, and those are doing really well. So this is called Jasmine Corner. This is the only bit of signwriting I've done recently. Jasmine Corner. Right. This wisteria is just, it's relentless. It just goes mad, so vigorous. Right. Moving on. This was the scene of a crime. A pigeon was killed and partly eaten, I suspect, by a sparrowhawk, which we get quite often around here. Right, let's just move over to these cabbages. That is a cabbage that has been severely dealt with, and this cabbage next to it, which I had covered, is going well. I think it's pigeons that like them, but I'm not sure. But so some have won and some have lost. Another loser, this lettuce. It's a sort of a cut and come again. So if you just take this out, you can take that into the house and eat it. The only trouble is somebody else is eating it as well. I don't like to put slug pellets down, but they're quite vigorous. They're nice. I've got a name. What are they called? Valmine lettuce, and they've generally done well, but this one's completely gone. However, There's a couple more coming over there and one over there, which is looking better. So there's losers and winners. 3 winners here. One's a bit of a loser and a winner, but there you go. First of all, the strawberries. They've been fantastic. I've probably got the size of a big double bed there, no more than that. I suspect there's about 30-40 plants, and they have been terrific. Had strawberries off of them every other day, a bowl of. They're finished now, but Margaret's been making jam. Show you a bit of that. And also later on, of course, back here, look, we've got the blackberries coming on, which are looking terrific. The cabbage over here, I've covered them up, look, because I think it's the pigeons getting at them. They're sort of surviving, but not completely. Fingers crossed on those. And what I've done with the cabbage, so there's cabbage over there, cabbage here, and there's cabbage down here, look. And that has been looking the best. So, who knows why? Right, cherry tree, big loser. I've had a plum tree which was good for a while and then it just died. This one's going the same way. I've had some cherries off it in the past, but look at the ends of these. The leaves are all crunched up and horrible, and most of the leaves were eaten earlier on, and the cherries just disappeared. I mean, look at this. Look. I don't know. It's just not successful at all. Whereas the apple trees have been going for about 100 years and produce loads of apples all the time. So cherry tree, bit of a loser. But looking down here, these are all parsnip, and I'm not pulling any up yet, but they're looking pretty good. I'm really pleased, because they were difficult sometimes to start germinating. The beetroot, however, they're prone to bolting, and that means they form these seed heads, flower heads. And so what you've got down below is a fairly small looking beetroot, which is not a good thing. So I live in hope. So parsnips winners, beetroots possibly losers. I'll keep talking because my neighbour's just started cutting his grass with a petrol mower. It's not too bad though. But look at these poppies. They were just terrific. These are all pink ones, but each one of these huge plants, from the tiniest of seed, and I put them in a row and up they've come. Well, as per usual, the apple tree here is doing extremely well. Look, there's apples all over it, and a number have fallen already, which always happens. And I'm going to deal with this area soon and get it cleared up. But the apples in this tree and the far tree, there's 2 here. As I said before, they were part of an old orchard, which was our house next door was built in the grounds of the house in the corner, which had a much larger garden, probably an acre of garden, and this was an orchard, and those 2 trees are what remain of it. 1 or 2 hostas, and if you put them in a pot, you can't see, this one's in a pot, the slugs don't seem to get at them, and they've been really successful both here and further down. So they're a success. I'm pleased with those. Just step into the greenhouse for a moment. Temperature in here, by the way, is 27 at the moment. Right, winners. The cucumber plant has been excellent. Starts down here. In fact, there should be 2 of them. Yeah, one goes that way, one that way. And the little cucumbers, some make it, some don't. But we've got a little handful accessible most of the time. So cucumbers doing well. Got to keep watering it though. And then tomatoes in here. That's a money maker. And this one has got a sort of a beefsteak type one called slightly different shape of tomato plant. This is a loser. Basil, look at it, it's horrible. I don't know what happened to that. Another winner, these have beautiful allium, bulbs, which I don't know what I'm going to do otherwise. If anybody wants some, they'll be fine, they'll come up really well. And these are mostly bluebells, probably Spanish ones. There's English ones, which are only found in England, which are wild as well, and you can't touch those, but you can get them in the garden sometimes. And they're a slightly different one to the Spanish one. But yeah, so all the allium have done well, and I've pulled some of them up, and of course you end up with beautiful heads like these, which you can use for, is that going in focus for you? I hope so, because they're quite magnificent. Yeah, I always wanted to grow those, and now I'm almost too successful. I'll give you just one more, another winner. There's plenty, so much has gone really well actually, but let's just go for one more, and that's these calla, I think called peace lilies, and they've done extremely well. Look at these, lovely plants, and there's even a sort of a purpley one down here. The pot, by the way, is from a Warwickshire garden pot maker down in Witchford, which are, they're not cheap, but they're lovely, absolutely beautiful terracotta pots, handmade. So let me just stand here with these nasturtiums behind me, which are again a wonderful plant. They go mad, they really grow everywhere with these beautiful yellow flowers as a climber. And yeah, let me sign off. So the channels, this one's the lesser one, but by all means subscribe to it. I'll try and migrate people from the old one to this one, and I think I'm going to do most of the work and publishing of the videos on this channel on whatever subject it may be, and I'll try and indicate at the start of each one what the subject is, whether it's gardening, painting, cycling, whatever. Okay, right, I'll see you in the next one, or should I say we'll meet again then. Okay, bye bye.